All right, good evening, everyone. I know no one is live on here just yet because I just started the stream. But, anyways, welcome to our second episode of season 2 of Football Focus Weekly. I'm the pet man, Matt Morrow, and the esteemed cast with us is backstage right now. Um, if you missed last week, we talked about the events in DC to start the show last week. We felt like we had to talk about those things and address them because they were a big deal. Tonight's show will be more in the traditional football focused weekly format. We'll start off talking about some breaking news with CMS, Charlotte Mecklenburg Schools, if you're not familiar. They are looking at not having in-person learning and going all remote again. And there was a directive from the Mecklenburg County director that we're going to talk about and analyze how that's going to affect football. We'll talk about some of the area top teams and select conferences in the Charlotte metro area. At 8 o'clock, we'll have the new Cox Mill head coach, Deshaun Baker, on with us. We'll be excited to talk with him. At 8:30, we'll have Tremaine Watson, recruiting coordinator, offensive line coach, and associate head coach for Virginia State University. He'll have some really unique perspectives to share with us. We'll sound off as we always do. And we've got a new segment coming called The Slime with Kenny McClamart. That's going to be really interesting. And then we'll finish the show with our NFL picks and we'll review who the loser of the week was. All right. So I didn't get to run it last week. We put it out on social media a couple days ago. If you missed it, we're going to run it right now. This is the season 2 introduction to Football Focus Weekly. So sit back and enjoy. When this is over, we'll start the show. Here we go. Wayne King on South Tryon Street is number 1. And I'm going to tell you why. Pet Man's Fried Chicken Rankings. And we're going to do 4 restaurants. I see Fred is laughing in the background.
My sound off is actually about, I'm going back to the Panther fans. And you know why?
Queen of CFI, sound off.
Been so much disrespect with mighty Coach Billups, and I'm here to sign off that.
I can tell you how the Panther season gonna be.
Oh, I've got a rule in life, man. There are a couple rules I live by in life. One rule is never pass by Bojangles without stopping. A second rule of life is get play sauce, it'll save your life. Third rule of life, don't trust white girls. The number 1 most annoying group of people. People who don't put their buggies back in their little buggy owls at the grocery store.
Where did I agree to get 211 text messages a day about the election? What did I agree to get calls every 7 seconds?
I'm gonna sound off on myself. All my teams stink. Oh my God, we have the caption Cowboy Joe on there now. Good grief. But
Charlotte Football Insider Football Focus Weekly. All right, there it is. Welcome to season 2 officially now. As we will now, actually, before I do that, I do have a question already from Kyle. Thank you, Kyle. How's it going, Pep? I'm doing pretty good, man. Much better than last week. Thank you for watching. Another comment starting off the show. Ready for some Mallard Creek football? Well, I hope we get some Mallard Creek football, man, but I'm not too sure because we about to talk about it right now. And then Justin, who's not here with us, he's very excited. Let's get it. I want my damn smoothie. How about that? Let's get that. All right. So here we go. Let's bring in the crew. That's who we got here with us tonight. All right. How is everybody doing? looking so lovely on a Wednesday night.
What's up? What's up?
What's going on?
Not bad.
Glad to have you back, Kenny.
Yes, sir. Glad to
Did
be
y'all
back, man. I've been missing talking about football on the #1 local prep football show in the Carolinas. And let me tell you, Pep, we just continue to prove it, man. The power and the influence of this show, Football Focus Weekly, it amazes me every single week. I was out of town over Christmas break, and everywhere I went, people were stopping me, and they were saying, "You're on that show on the internet, aren't you?" And they knew who I was. They knew, I mean, they just recognized me. They knew Coach Billups, and they knew who the Pep Man was, but they recognized me.
I don't know why they know who I am. I'm just a regular old smuggler dead. Hey, man, kudos to the shirt, man. Hey, Kenny, kudos to the shirt because you know I love me some Michael Scott.
Let me tell you.
If you had the Michael Scott paper company shirt on, you would have went up the friends ranking a little bit.
This is why I've been missing this show so much because I can't watch The Office anymore because I refuse to buy Peacock or whatever this new show is called. I refuse.
Oh, I love The Office.
All right, so let's get down to business here because we got a lot of people on, and I'm sure they're anxiously awaiting us get our opinion on what's going on. Of course, there's breaking news. CMS Sports is in serious jeopardy. I'm going to share an article from the other media outlet here in Charlotte. It's from
Patty Le Pep.
Okay.
Patty Le Pep.
All right, so the Charlotte-Mecklenburg School Board is going to hold an emergency meeting tomorrow morning to reconsider the district's plan to return to in-person instruction. And this comes from the Mecklenburg County Public Health Director, directive that she gave recently saying schools, businesses, and individuals should move to full virtual operations. All right. We also know that CMS has canceled middle school sports for the rest of the season, or rest of the year, I should say. So right now, do we honestly think we're going to have, football, much less any other sports going on in CMS going forward, given this new activity that has just arisen?
Nope.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
Unfortunately, the writing's on the wall.
Nope. You read between the lines. Like she basically just said it, and that's why I asked that question on Twitter about the Wake County one. Wake County got the same. That's tough. Nobody does not want to play football, but unfortunately, we should have played in the fall when we should have. It just we just should have played in the fall and got it over with. But
this is what we've been talking about since August. Is what's going to happen? Does it make any sense to move football to February when we know that cases in a normal year, flu cases and sicknesses and germs and viruses are through the roof? But here's something that I saw yesterday, Pep, and it makes me wonder, like I heard about this quote from this lady that she said that everyone in Charlotte needs to remain home for 3 weeks and all that kind of stuff. But here's a report that came out just yesterday from the state of Michigan. Now, Michigan had pretty serious COVID-19 testing requirements. And of all the athletes that were tested in the fall time, there was a 99.6% negative rate in the state of Michigan. 99.6%. Wow. We saw the state of South Carolina play high school football. We've seen private schools have a high school football season where they crowned a state champion. Why in the world can North Carolina not get it done? It just doesn't make sense. Who in the world really believed that February would be better than August would be? It just doesn't make any sense to us. And what we're now going to see, if this comes to fruition, because if CMS pulls out, we know that Cabarrus County and Stanley County and Rowan County and Durham County, Durham County has led the state as far as being conservative when it comes to this whole coronavirus pandemic since the very beginning of March. If Mecklenburg County pulls out, there will be no football played in the state of North Carolina. There's no way. Everybody else will pull out because no one is going to say, well, they didn't do it, we're not going to do it. I'm at a loss for words. I mean, you're talking about seniors who are going to graduate potentially not playing a spring sport on the varsity level for 2 consecutive years. I mean, you're talking about the negative disadvantage that our athletes right now, the class of 2021 football players, are already placed in because schools are recruiting South Carolina kids right now. They're being offered because they have game film from this past season. Private school kids are being offered because they have game film from this season. And we've got so much talent sitting in North Carolina, especially the 704, that are missing out because they don't have the game film and because the NCAA granted everybody an extra year free of charge without upping the number of scholarships. Man, this is just bad. This is bad. It's bad for our kids. Why in the world all that talk where back in August where I said, hey, North Carolina kids are going to leave and go to South Carolina play, are going to leave to go to private schools. If this happens, I apologize from the bottom of my heart to every North Carolina kid who stuck around hoping to play with their teammates and with guys that they've been with since they were little kids. Man, this is just awful.
I think we all, but I think like you say, Kenny, I think we all, like me, I was one. I think Pep was the only one who really said, "Go ahead and do the fall." I thought, we could possibly play in February or later on. You never thought it was gonna get this bad. So I'm a man. I'm a man who can eat my words and when I was wrong, but I think we should have went ahead and played in the fall. I think, like right now, my biggest thing is the numbers, and also it's not an excuse. It just we didn't have no summer. We didn't have no summer workout time to work out and get these kids together. And we see all these great schools lifting and stuff like that. I think Mooresville and Lake Norman, but like in CMS, they really haven't had no. It takes like 2 to 3 months. Didn't we say that, Ken? Like 2 to 3 months, good weight training, then to get your body prepped.
Realistically, I mean, even right now, going back to that, no one's been able to do anything for several weeks because of the holiday season. CMS had exams right before the break. Cabarrus County and other schools are having exams this week, so they've been in a dead period. I mean, you're looking at 3.5, 4 weeks off going into a cold season. I mean, it's just bad. I mean, I feel for these kids. I feel for coaches because we all know that there are coaches in this state who had the best team of their career set up going into this year, and they're going to miss out on that.
Kind of kid Panos is though. You got an outstanding kid. Like when she posting that, Panos is one of my favorite kids. I never coached Panos, but just being around him at the camp and Pepper tell me and Panos were talking like we was old-timey friends and know each other for lifelong. But you hate it because I hate it because it's so much talent. Like I know a bunch of kids that are seniors right now, and you see them offers they're getting, the offers they're not getting, and you feel bad. And me as a parent, it just made me feel even worse. You just want to hug them, and you feel like they've been misled, but it's not. Yeah, I want all the kids out there to know it ain't nothing that y'all did wrong. It's what us adults did wrong, because all of us to sit here and say we all gonna be in places where people are not wearing their masks, the mask rules not being enforced, people are just doing what they want to do. We know people personally who have gone to gathering. They say going to small gathering, it's large gathering. Is the adults, and we cannot criticize a system that we made irrelevant. Like we tell these kids to follow rules, but we don't even follow the rules. So, not saying me personally, but as a whole, when I speak about negativity, I take the blame too as an adult. But you'll feel bad about it.
You guys all saw the same pictures and the same post on social media that I saw, where I saw people doing like crazy. Where instead of having one big family get together on Christmas Day, they would have 10 people on Christmas Day, then 10 more people on the 26th, and the other family on the 27th. Like at the end of the day, you were still around 35 extended family members. It doesn't matter if you did it in one day or over 4 days. This whole thing is bad. It's bad. I don't understand. It's accountability, but we've seen states and independent private school leagues be successful, have successful seasons. The last time I checked, I did not hear of a single high school kid being hospitalized because of COVID-19, because of football. I didn't hear of a single coach that was hospitalized because of COVID. And yet, remember, I was one of the ones who, from the very beginning, pushed for school to be let out in March until we figure this thing out. But we've got the vaccination coming up. Israel, a report came out yesterday out of Israel, 20% of Israel's population has received at least one vaccination shot already. And their numbers, their positive cases already are down, depending on which study you look at, between 33 and 60%. And that's just with 20% of the population having one of the two shots. And they're anticipating that once they get the second shot and the COVID rate probability drops to less than 1% that you're going to get it, it's 99% effective, that it's going to go even lower than that. I just don't understand it. I don't understand how we keep making decisions. Are they science-based? Are they emotionally based? Are they emotionally charged decisions? Are they rational? I just don't get it. I don't get it. Cabarrus County, we're scheduled to go to school on Tuesday, and unless this has changed it, and y'all would know more than me, Mecklenburg County is scheduled to be in school next week as well, right?
That's what they have an emergency meeting about tomorrow. So
tomorrow night, okay.
Yeah, and truth be told, Wake. When I saw Wake say they got a meeting, and they already said they about to. I think they're having a meeting just to say how long the in person got declined for. So, if Wake and Mac are doing this, then we already know what's about to happen. So,
yeah.
All right. So, yeah. I mean, it's sad on so many levels, and I love the comments that are coming in. We're gonna put some of those up here. The main thing about this is the directive is saying for 3 weeks. But like I said earlier, we already seen middle school sports get, cut for the year. We know that CMS is conservative, like you mentioned, Ken, and that the rest of the state's going to pretty much follow their lead here. So I'm hoping that, we don't just cut it like they did the middle school stuff. We've seen, as you see on the screen, Charlotte Latin and Country Day, they're suspending in-person learning. They also have, pretty much cut all the athletics that were going on right now. Yeah. The biggest thing I want to stress to the parents that are watching here, explore every avenue to get your kids seen. We just did a series on featuring unsigned seniors. Hopefully, we'll be able to feature some more of those going forward. We just had a university reach out to us today, as a matter of fact, asking us for players. And I sent them a list of about 30 players that are unsigned, 2021 kids. So the schools are looking. The coach, Virginia State, Mr. Watson, we're going to have on tonight. We're going to ask him directly, what can seniors do that don't have film for this upcoming year? What can they do to get seen? And we're going to get his feedback. He'll be on at 8:30. Real quick, I do want to go over the top schools in the area for about 5 minutes before we get Coach Baker on. Before we go to Coach Baker, I will put up the comments that we are having about this topic right now. But I do want to get everyone's opinion on some of the top teams in the area. And we're just going to kind of go through a couple of conferences that are in the Charlotte metro area. So, of course, we'll start in Charlotte. IMEC, we're going to come down the line real quick. Kenny, let's start with you. Your top two teams in the IMEC, in your opinion.
Well, I know that their head coach doesn't want to hear this because he kind of thrives on the us versus the world, but obviously Huff, they've graduated, 12 or 13 kids signed early, and they'll be moving on to their college careers last weekend and this weekend. But Huff is at the top of the list. They'll always be at the top of the list. Of course, Vance is up there as well. Losing Power Eccles is huge, but they've got so many linemen coming back. They've got the big quarterback coming back. They've got DBs out the yin-yang. I'm expecting those two guys, and then after that, Mallard Creek, and it'll be a race through the rest of the league.
All right, very good, man. All right, illustrious Billups, your top two teams in the IMEC.
It pains me to say this, but it's probably Vance. since the other school in Cornelius, they lost. I would say I'm gonna say my comments about that until my boy come on. But I think it's Vance and Creek. It's just me being honest. I think Huff lost a lot. Pryor was a good bit, and then even though they got tagged, y'all see how important Baker was to that program, and that's just me saying a lot.
I definitely agree with that. My top two in the IMEC would definitely be, Vance and Huff right now. Vance coming back, they've lost some kids, but I think they're reloading. We've seen some kids come over there from different places. And then Huff with the talent that, is already there. And they picked up a young man, JT Smith from Providence Day, who I think is just ultra talented. I think he can slide right into the place where Evan Pryor was, in that offense. And then we talk about Coach Baker, who's backstage right now. I saw today that Coach Olson, has moved into the OC position. And, we know he has a great football knowledge from a very strong football family. So, we'll see, how they kind of navigate that change right there. I'm gonna jump into the Southwest real quick, and then we'll have to kind of cut it short. We'll come back to it. But in the Southwest, you got to look at Butler. Butler has picked up a lot of talent in this offseason, and they've kind of been doing it behind the scenes. But if you start to, look around and see who's there, it's very impressive. And then we all know how great of a coach Coach Hales is, and they've beefed up their coaching staff with DJ and Coach Rankin coming over. And then others, on that staff as well. So they're going to be a big time threat. But you can't, that was the one I was missing right there. But you can't discount Myers Park. They're going to have some question marks at the quarterback position, obviously, with Drake May, opting out and going to UNC early, and then we know the brothers McCown have gone to Texas, so. We're going to be real interested to see who's the quarterback over there, but they've still got a bevy of talent right there, and they're going to be, a really tough out. Billups, let me get your comments on the Southwest, and then we're going to move on to Coach Baker here.
I think Butler and Hickory Ridge tell you the truth.
Hickory Ridge was one that I was, kind of going back and forth with between Myers Park and them. Hickory Ridge has a huge offensive line. Yeah. They've got a lot of returning talent.
Same offense. It's going to be Chadwick is the quarterback whisperer, but it's a quarterback who I think which is a young talent. I think he's going to take time to develop. He needs 1 year in that offense. But I think if you want to say teams are suited to win right now, Butler, Hickory Ridge is 2A, and Rocky River might be 2B. You might want to watch out for Rocky River. It might be his year. It might be Coach Graves' year.
Very good points. Very good points. All right, real quick, before we bring on Coach Baker, I want to run through some comments that you guys have put out here since the show has been on here. Let's see here. Let's see. Miss Burlos, that's my issue with all this. You're going to cancel sports. Where's the data that supports that decision? Have high school sports ever been connected to a super spread? And Kenny, that references what you said about Michigan earlier. What was that percentage again?
99.6% negative results. Negative rate.
There it is. Right there. All right, Damian Jackson, a good friend of CFI right there, and his son is a long snapper at Porter Ridge. He says, feel bad for these kids, Pep. This is why we signed immediately. He signed at North Carolina A&T as a long snapper, so congratulations to him on that. Let's see. It's got Jakia right here. CMS should have allowed them to play in the fall because every other sport was able to play, so what's the difference? Well, I know there was a delay. Yeah, there was a delay. Volleyball and cross country played in the fall, but they started late when they did start playing. So, yeah, South Carolina played, and other states played. So,
but I don't think a lot of people understand unless you ever worked in CMS. And this is not me throwing shade, but I'm a graduate of CMS too. CMS has always been Pepper. We all know if you graduate. They're a risk and reward type of people. They don't take the lowest risk possible because they don't want to pay. They don't want to get hit in the face.
I agree. Miss Bird, I truly don't think they'll cancel sports. They may shut down workouts for all-season sports, but I still think there will be a season. I hope so. That goes back to what we were saying about the directive from the Mecklenburg County Health Director being for 3 weeks. Hopefully, if we see numbers trending down in that 3-week period.
It's not for football.
But how safe is that? No, it's not me. It's not me throwing shots at the Comet. It just we already haven't had no off season, right? That's tough. Hey, I'm gonna be quiet. That's tough. Them kids don't. I know they need to play ball, but if they're not properly conditioned, what we gonna do? Let's say they push it back. They need to push the season back a month or so and let them kids actually get in there. Get some weight training, get a little condition, get used to, get acclimated. Not saying that she's saying that we go straight into it, but you gotta have a prep time. Football's it's a warrior sport. It's just like when I used to go out and do patrols in the military. I just couldn't throw my flat jack on and go out there. We had to exercise and get used to the equipment, get used to the movement. So I know everybody wants to play, but do we really? A lot of these kids, like my kids, they don't got personal trainers. They don't got all this stuff. Some kids got some, and I'm sorry, I know Bake probably laughing at me right now, but some of these kids probably got 15% of your team who actually training and lifting weights, but properly lifting weights or properly under proper supervision. These kids probably are going to do bench press and get out of there. They're not really doing like the range of motion stuff and all, the jump. Football is a contact sport, guys. And I know everybody want to play. I am a very competitive person. I'm an aggressive person, but I'm also compassionate. Your kids start going out there tearing ACLs, MCLs, and stuff like that. You don't feel bad, and that's what's on. That's if we rush this, and that's what happened. We took too long. If we rush it, some major injuries are going to happen, and then we're going to have the answer for that. So we got. Yeah. I'm not saying anybody's wrong for wanting to play right now. We should be playing, but if we're going to play, put us in the weight. Tell them take them weights out and let us get time to prep. If we got 4 weeks, we need to be doing stuff right now. If you don't push it back, you need to push the season back 4 weeks.
I agree, and that was the thing that I was saying last week when we had the question: are we going to have a playoff? And I thought. The season is not going to start on time, but I still feel like we will have a season and a playoff. To that point, I think we do need to move it.
They'll play conference games. They'll play conference games, but I think we should play. But we're going to play. Don't say, "Hey, y'all got 2 weeks to prep up," and then you don't have. Even with 4 weeks, even with a month, you still don't have kids. But I'm just saying, I'm just a dead. I'm just dead. I ain't no. But I understand that I cannot. It's like a rubber band. I can sit there and do all this tension and stuff out there. Eventually, it's gonna snap. Kenny's a weight room guy. He'll tell you. I'm not trying to lie to people. But I'm giving y'all facts. This is not me being old and most say, "Hey, we scared." People at West Charlotte are scared of stuff. I haven't even been to practice. I'm not speaking from West Charlotte. I'm speaking from Brandon as a parent. Like I wouldn't want my kid out getting rushed. I would want him to play. I think they have to prep first, and you got a whole bunch of coaches. Yeah, they want to play, but I'm pretty sure one of their kids ACL or MCL or something, or they do something, they don't feel bad. And like I said,
especially underclassmen, if they tear their ACL in March and they can't play in the fall time of 21.
And that was just that was not directly at the comment. I've heard this statement so many times. I'm seeing on Twitter and all that. We need to go ahead and play. Like, God, that's not how football works. You do basketball like that. You do volleyball like that. Football, no. It's not like the comment. Y'all got to, I want people to think, not say Coach Mrs. Bird's not thinking. It just, I think a lot of people are like, push it back, and then that's starting in 2 weeks later. No. Everybody kids have not been lifting. They're not.
All right. Well, those are some great points.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. We'll come back to that. But we got Coach Baker backstage, and we're going to bring him on here right now. For those that are watching that may not know, Coach Baker was just named the new head coach at Cox Mill High School up in Cabarrus County. and we're going to welcome him to the show here right now. All right, Coach, how we doing tonight?
How you doing, man? I appreciate you having me on.
I appreciate your willingness to come on. I know it was short notice, and I appreciate you, taking the time out to spend a few minutes with us tonight. So first off, man, how does it feel to be a head coach?
Man, I tell you, man, it's a lot right now. Just the timing of everything. Man, so you'd have thought I signed a contract with Alabama yesterday. My phone was ringing off the hook. I got 1,000 text messages, man. I got people that genuinely happy for me, man, because they know how hard I've been working for, what I've been through. You know what I'm saying? We're doing all this stuff, so it feels good, man. But it's a lot thrown at me right now, so I gotta put everything in order and make sure I get everything done.
Absolutely, I understand. It's just so many things that you're now responsible for instead of being a coordinator.
Right.
But let's take it back a little bit. For those that don't know, you talk to us a little bit about your personal background and the times you were a star off Nations Ford Road at Waddell High School.
Man, yeah, I was over there at Waddell from 01, 03. I was the first graduating class from there. Coach Mack, my high school coach, man, he kind of got me into wanting to coach. He was always one of those guys that taught us the game of ball, but he was a person that if any one of us was going through something, a lot of us on Nations Ford Road that went to Waddell went through a lot of stuff at home, and so we needed someone to be there for us, to talk to, and he was always that guy. And so he was like the first guy that that I really looked up to, that I could talk to about stuff at home, and really cared about me on the field and really wanted me to go to school. I didn't think about going to college until I met him, to be honest with you. He's one of the reasons I pledged Omega Psi Phi and everything. So, just growing up on that side of town and doing what I did, it just made me the person I am now.
Very good, man. Good stuff. And then you moved on to South Carolina State and played college ball, correct?
Right. Went there in 03, and it's funny. It's funny because I was gonna commit to Western Carolina. I was set and I was going to Western Carolina, and I had one more recruiting trip, and South Carolina State was my last trip. And so I was just, everybody always told me, man, you get 5 trips, just go to all of them, just to go. And so I went to the last one, and matter of fact, I met Coach Chachi there. Coach Chachi was a senior my freshman year, and went there, met those guys, and I committed the next day. And so I had to call the Western Carolina coach and tell him I wasn't coming. So, that's my story of going to South Carolina State. It wasn't even planned for me to go there.
Man, that's awesome, man. That is awesome. Well, one of your good friends is on our panel, and he has a question that he just can't wait to ask. So I'm gonna let him go ahead and come on here and ask it, and that is the illustrious Coach Billups, as we call him.
He already know I'm mad at him. He already know.
What's up, Billups?
What's up, man? Hey, first off, you already know how I feel. I don't told you via text.
Yeah,
proud of you. You one of my favorite people in this world, and you and I both know why, because everybody. That's another topic. Hey, man. All jokes aside, I just want to come on nationally on this show and to give you your flowers. I think Huff lost a very important piece to that great dynasty they got over there. I don't think a lot of people know what Coach Bate does over there. And I'm ecstatic. And it was legitimately why I say it was the best moment on Twitter when I saw my boy Bake in that ugly picture.
Hey, I was clean that night, baby. I was clean that night now.
But hey, man, I'm excited to see what you're gonna do. Coxmill got a gym. Proud of you, man. You already know it's always Charlotte versus everybody. You even when you was running me over there when you was at Waddell, and they're very grateful to have you. What are your first goals as a head coach? What is the number one thing you want to get accomplished this season?
Man, just to get buy-in, man, try to change the culture. One thing I want to do, I want those kids to know what type of person I am. I'm always been a hard coach. I get on the kids about every little thing. I mean, if they trip up, I get on them. You know what I mean? And I want the kids to know what kind of coach they get, what kind of person they're getting, that I'm always an open door. If you ever going through anything, you know what I mean, football, life, whatever, you know, you can always come talk to me. That's first and foremost, man. All the football stuff, man, we can talk football all day. It don't matter if somebody going through some of them kids, man, and they don't have anyone to talk to. It don't make no difference. They're not gonna play for you. They're not gonna be willing to play because they can't play because they got so much on their plate. So, you know, the first thing I want to do is just show them who I am. You know what I mean? Show them who I am and let them know. Listen, I might be a hardtail, but at the end of the day, I'm somebody that care for you and gonna always be there for you.
Man, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, Cox Mills, y'all got Jim. Everything he just said is true. I went through a little certain situation about 2 years ago, and when he found out, he called me, picked me up, to hug me. Before he whooped my butt when we were playing when I was at Providence, he just told me he was here for me. Bake, one of my favorite people in the world, man. I'm proud of you, man. You know, I'm just mad that you're leaving now that I'm back. I can't sit there and talk junk with you or eat pistachios and laugh at you all the time. But hey, man, I'm proud of you, man. Do it for the city. Hey, man, you know you already got my support.
Man, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. All right. So, Coach, I got to ask you, you had a really, really fun offense at Huff. I commented on Twitter that I love watching the way you guys operate. A lot of things, you know, that you do offensively that, you know, if I was still coaching that, I would, you know, beg, borrow, and steal from you, to be honest. Talk about the success you had at Huff and the success you guys had at getting, you know, those kids to college. Because there's so many kids that, you know, have left that program and gone to big time schools. And how can you, you know, kind of copycat that at Cox Mill?
Well, you know what, man, what make good coaches are good players, man. We were fortunate enough and lucky enough to have players that we could do some of the stuff that we did on offense, man. And, you know, I think Coach Jenkins and Coach Chachi and Coach PJ, man, they did a hell of a job with getting college coaches on our campus and getting them in the building. And when you have them type of guys, man, you can do stuff on offense that, you know, that you really can't do if you don't have those guys. And so, you know, us as an offense, man, I'm never the guy that's gonna say I did this, I did that. No, we did it as a staff, and I told my Cox Mill staff the same thing. I'm not a me person. You know what I mean? It's gonna be us. We do this game plan together. You know, we're gonna lose as a team. I might take the L's or I might take the W's, but you know, at the end of the day, we're gonna do it together. So it's success goes to those kids, man. They came in, they worked hard every day. They did what we asked them to do. Weight room, like I killed them in the weight room. They'll tell you, I killed them in the weight room. One thing about me, I'm real big on that weight room. And Coach Jenkins was real big on the weight room, and he kind of handed the keys over to me to the weight room. And you know, we went in there and we got at it, and they worked hard, man. I mean, our guys, they were, you know, we had winter conditioning, we had time test, we had everything. You know, when you got those kids that's willing to do it and put in the work, man, it's not hard. It's not hard to sell them. You know, they do the hard work by playing on the field. To sell them is nothing. You know, we always say we can sell a well water. So, you know, if you go out and do your work, we get the coaches in there, man, and get them on board. So again, you know, it's a testament to them kids, man. They was athletic, they were gifted. You know, it's nothing that we did special. You know, it's easy to call them the X and O. They got to execute it.
Very well said, man. Very good. And you're right. Just put the talent in, you know, space and let the talent, you know, show off. And
right.
You guys did a great job with that, man. That's excellent. Our queen of CFI, Cherie Glenn, has a question for you, Coach, and I'm gonna bring her on right now.
How you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. Okay, so I asked this question to a lot of the coaches that have come on here, but I know that, you know, we're in, you know, uncharted territory right now, especially with all of the, you know, social injustice and everything that's been going on, you know, not only in North Carolina, but also across the country. So as you become the head coach at Cox Mills, how do you plan to like hold those players accountable, as well as maybe some of the coaches for things that we've experienced over the last couple of years?
I would say, man, you know, it's kind of hard, you know, not hard to say if it can't be done, but you know, you got to respect people on different levels. And one thing about me, and maybe if I'm getting off topic of what you're saying, but to me, you have to respect somebody where they are. Like you cannot go out and just be doing any and everything, say any and everything to people. And you can't hold everybody's hand. You can't hold everybody's hand as much as we want to have change in the world and all the racial injustice and all that stuff. No matter what we do right now in these times, it's gonna be out there in the world. It's how you conduct yourself. You can't go out there and get caught up in all this stuff and and then you got yourself in a situation you can't get out of. You got to learn how to handle it. You got to learn how to be on a platform where if someone is doing something injustice and it's somebody you got to be able to have that conversation with them. If they're your friend or a coworker or where it may be, you got to have that conversation with them, and if you have that conversation and you can't come to a agreement or, a disagreement or whatever, sometimes it's better just to part ways, you know what I mean? So to me, you got to hit it head on, so if you see it and somebody that's doing it, have a conversation, because a lot of people don't know. A lot of people don't even know they insulting you or even being that type of way, so, and we went through that huff and, we had a group of kids that was really hell bent on getting it done. And that was one thing we told them, listen, if some of your classmates that's doing this or whoever it may be, have a conversation with them, because they really might not know. You don't know what's going on at their house. You don't know what parents are telling them, so you can't be mad at everybody about what's going on when you don't know their situation either. So sometimes it's better to enlighten people on what's going on than just be mad for no reason.
Great answer, Coach. I think you got the media stuff, down pat already. That's awesome. Man. All right, so our resident coach, Kenny McClamrock, has a question for you as well. I'm gonna bring him on.
Coach, first off, man, congratulations on the job. I believe that Cox Mill is one of those hidden gems in the rough, man. The talent that they have there, the size, the athleticism, of course, the quarterback they've got coming back is the best quarterback not playing in Charlotte for a long ways. And Coach Jenkins, over the years, is a good buddy of mine. He's sung your praises for years, so there's no doubt you're going to do a great job. But Coach, I read the article, man, about coming to Cox Mill and was really impressed with reading about you, really impressed listening to you. I know that you got a really diverse background, man, the Hall of Fame at South Carolina State, all that kind of stuff, man. That's awesome. But tell me this. I know that you've got mentors in your life, coaching mentors that you look to, and coming into a season 3 weeks before the season begins, what are your mentors telling you? Like, what advice are they giving you? How are you going to go about this? Do you stay with what Cox Mill's kind of done in the past and slowly work your stuff in, or do you come in guns blazing and just say, hey, we're gonna ball out with the stuff that I know? What are they telling you, Coach?
You know what? It's funny you asked me the question, because me and Coach Jenkins had a conversation. Our defensive coordinator, Coach Sullivan, had a conversation. And my first thought process was, all right, they've been working out. I haven't been there. You know what I'm saying? Let's go with what they've been working with. You know what I'm saying? We'll worry about this stuff later, terminology and all this stuff later, defensive wise, everything. So, I had a week to sit on it and talk to Coach McMurray, and then I talked to Coach Jenkins again the other night. And Coach Jenkins asked me, are you still thinking about doing what you talked about? And I said, Coach, you know what? I sit there and thought about it, and I think I'm just gonna go ahead and, start implementing my stuff slowly but surely, but keep some of the stuff too, the terminology that they use. And he said, good, because I was gonna talk you out of not doing what you said you was gonna do anyway. So, and to be honest, Cox Mill, we're gonna be young this year. They were senior heavy last year. We're gonna be young, so a lot of the kids, they're coming from JV and stuff, and so a lot of the terminology they really don't know anyway. Mm-hmm. So, me changing a little bit of it ain't gonna hurt nothing. So I think I'm just gonna go in and, we're gonna put it on them. We're gonna Zoom meet. We're gonna practice. I'm gonna meet as much as I can on Zoom so they can get it and talk ball with them defensively and offensively, and we're gonna hit the ground running.
Coach, I love it. In 2002, my first year coaching, I was working for a guy that Coach Jenkins and I both worked for. His first year at North Mech, and he had a little quarterback that was just a great quarterback, a great running back quarterback, but it wasn't Coach Padgett's style. And that entire year, he tried to mimic what they had been doing, and it didn't work out. Coach Padgett never felt good about it. We never felt good about it. as an offensive staff. Coach, be you, man. Establish your identity. And at the end of the day, you've got a lot of brand new coaches in your league as well. Right. Central Cabarrus, brand new coach. J.M. Robinson, brand new coach. Throwing you in there. Coach, good luck, man. I'll be pulling for you.
Man, I appreciate it, Coach. Thank you a lot.
All right, great stuff, Kenny. Appreciate that, man. All right, Coach. Final question. I've gotten messages from multiple coaches asking me, does Coach Baker need coaches? And I'm first of all, I'm looking at him like, why don't you send Coach Baker a message? Why are they coming to me? But I'll ask you point blank, do you need any help coaching? Or do you need any help, with different things around the program, maybe from the community? What do you need right now as being a new head coach at Cox Mill? Man,
to be honest with you, as of right now, I do need a couple. I have about 9 coaches, and right now I need a couple volunteer coaches for to help with JV. We're all going to coach JV anyway, but I do need some volunteer coaches that would love to help with the JV team, because I don't want to leave the JV by the wayside. If that JV team is doing good on Thursday night, it's going to translate to Friday nights in the future. So if we got anybody that wants to help with JV, and obviously help with varsity as well, but mainly with JV, hey, I'm open. I'm open with it.
All right, very good.
Now you gotta be good with the kids too. Now you may be able to coach ball, but you may be an a-hole. I don't want you. You may know all the ball in the world, but if you're not going, it's not gonna be about the kids and getting them better. You can stay where you're at. We'll make it work.
All right. Well, you heard it right there. I know some of you guys that asked me are watching this right now. So if you're interested, want to help out on JV as volunteer, good way to get in there and, start learning and working, for a really good man. Reach out to him. Coach, I appreciate you coming on once again, man. I think, this was great. And if there's anything you need from us at Charlotte Football Insiders, just reach out to me. We'll be glad to help as always, man.
Man, I appreciate y'all having me, man. Continue to do what y'all doing. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you, Coach.
Okay.
All right. So that was Cox Mill new head coach, Deshaun Baker, joining us on Football Focus Weekly. We've got a few minutes before Coach Watson from Virginia State comes on the show with us. Before he comes on, we're going to jump back to the topic that we were previously discussing, some of the top teams in the area. I'm going to bring the group back on. We had just talked a little bit. Oh, I guess I better add them in. There we go. We had just talked a little bit about the Southwestern Conference, and we kind of breezed through that really quickly. But of course, we got some other conferences we want to discuss. Let's talk about where Coach Baker's going to be in the South Piedmont. Kenny, you know that conference really well. Who do you think the top teams are going to be in the South Piedmont this upcoming season? We hopefully have.
Obviously, my heart belongs to one school in particular with a lot of kids there who I really care about. I think every year A.L. Brown always comes in with some of the best talent, the most athleticism. A.L. Brown has a distinct advantage. Coach Village brought this up a minute ago, that A.L. Brown has been lifting weights both out of school and in class since July. No other school in Cabarrus County has been allowed to lift weights in class yet. I think they're doing some stuff outside after school, but no one else has really been lifting. They've been maxing out. They've been getting after it. A.L. Brown's at the top of the list. Being honest with you, Cox Mill's at the top of the list. Automatically, Cox Mill is a conference favorite every single year. They've got the best quarterback, not in Charlotte for a long ways. The kid is a stud. He's committed to Navy, I believe it is. He's a big, strong kid. He throws the ball well. He runs well. Cox Mill always has defensive linemen. They always have wide receivers right there on the Charlotte-Mecklenburg line, right there with I-85 in their backyard. They get so many transient kids in. And then I think that Central Cabarrus is probably number 3 in that conference as it sits.
I agree. Hearing Coach Baker saying Cox Mill is young, I kind of thought a little bit, maybe, one of the other teams could slide up there to that number 2 spot. But the quarterback you mentioned, Varney Farnbula,
he's incredible. As soon as I saw him live last fall, every college coach I talked to, I said, guys, y'all have got to see him. And no one had really heard about him. He had this breakout junior season. My favorite play to think about, I believe it was 4th and 1 or 3rd and less than 1. It was short yardage, about middle of the field. They went out in a spread formation, and we were sending pressure from the boundary to his left. He noticed it, and I saw him see it, and immediately I'm about to call timeout. He hikes it, and he does his own thing. It was a pass play. He took the ball, kind of delay, almost like a draw, and he scored it up their sideline for a 13 or 14-yard gain. And as soon as that happened, I told our offensive coach on the headset, this dude is the real man. Like this guy, we're not going to be able to stop him tonight. I think he's an incredible player.
Yeah, and I'll share it real quick. I saw him before that junior season. I went to an under-the-radar camp that summer, and I was blown away. And nobody knew who this kid was. And I asked him, I said, who are you? It was the most hilarious thing. And he told me, he was at Cox Mill, and I went on Twitter. He had like 30 followers. And, at that time, I blew him up. I said, man, this kid is amazing. And he's going to be, something special.
Jamal Horton in the local newspaper wrote an article about him early in the season, kind of about his life journey. And I read it, and I was blown away by his story to begin with. And was telling our team about it going into that week, and seeing him in person. I mean, he's just a big kid, great touch, runs well, and he's going to be a heck of a player for that service academy. I hear his GPA is through the roof, and yes sir, no sir, kid. But Cox Mill is always has the talent and the size to compete always.
Yeah, absolutely. Coach Billups, you got any thoughts on the South Piedmont?
No, I'm not really knowledgeable with that conference. When I was in in
0-1 versus that conference. You were 0-1 versus that conference.
It happens.
All right, so we're gonna come back to more top area football teams here in just a second, but we got Coach Watson backstage who's ready to go. So we'll get ready to go ahead and bring him on with us right now. And Coach Trumaine Watson is a lot of things with Virginia State. He's offensive line coach, he's recruiting coordinator, and he's also the associate head coach. And we're going to ask him, how does he wear all those hats and effectively, do a great job. So let's bring him on right now. Hey, Coach, how we doing tonight?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
Doing good. I appreciate you taking out some time from what I'm sure is a busy schedule right now to be, on our show tonight, man.
Man, I appreciate you guys having me, man. Anything. I love kind of doing this type stuff here, man, especially for the hometown.
Absolutely. So for those that don't know, let's dig into that. You're from, the area at A.L. Brown High School. Talk to us a little bit about, those days and, how you grew into, what you're doing right now.
Oh, man. I mean, those days you can't get back. You would love to be able to get them back. Definitely I played at A.L. Brown from graduated in 2006. So I played from about 2002 to 2005 season. Played under Ron Massey. Enjoyed it. Had a lot of success. It was fun. Guys that know a lot about the Kannapolis area, we're kind of football bred when it comes to the state of North Carolina. We take a lot of pride in that. We have a lot of tradition. A.L. Brown is known for football. I've had a lot of success from Bruce Harden to Boswell. We've had, so that's something that was kind of bred with me kind of growing up, kind of stuck with me. My parents, they kept us highly involved in football and being in the area. I spent a lot of time with my dad, man, going to a lot of Kannapolis football games. So it kind of was in me. So I enjoyed playing it and kind of just followed me all the way through college, man, and into my career now.
That's awesome, man. And I tell people all the time, I have some horrible memories of playing you guys back in the late 90s. It was not fun. But I tell you, the one highlight of my career is I got a solo tackle on Nick Maddox for a 2-yard loss.
Hey, that's big now.
I really thought it was going to be something special, but yeah, it didn't. I actually told him after 99, my senior year, I said, man, you need to go to Carolina. And he went to Florida State. And, history is history. But anyway. So you're an associate head coach, you're a recruiting coordinator, and offensive line coach. So how are you able to wear all those hats and, be successful in all those different roles?
A lot of busy days, man. I will say that. But I'm real stern on, you got to be good at something. So I think, you got to find your niche. I think a lot of people talk about that a lot of times, to find a way to how to be good. And, offensive line is my thing. That's what I hang my hat on. Being able to recruit, I think, is important. For me, I'm a relationship guy. I think everything starts with building relationships. So I am that guy to, as a recruiting coordinator, I'll sit in the floor and play the PlayStation with your little brother. I'll sit down and talk to grandma about old days, So I think, it takes a special person to be able to do.
I think we might have lost Coach there. We'll see if he comes back. But, one of the things, we'll give him a second on that. But, okay, I think we got you back, Coach.
Yeah, the internet's almost just like the pandemic, man. You just don't know. I'm telling you. But yeah, that's just something that I kind of take a lot of pride in. And the associate head coach title, Reggie Barlow, he gave me an awesome opportunity. Being able to lead the team, being the next guy in charge, when he's not around and be able to do different things, I think is important. Leadership, anytime you can be in a leadership role to kind of show, your coaching staff and the players that, play for you, that you're able to lead is important.
Absolutely, man. So being a recruiting coordinator in this pandemic, I know is a huge challenge. One of the things that, we've been talking about tonight, we've been talking about a lot here in North Carolina because we haven't had public school football, is how can kids be seen by coaches such as yourself and get noticed and get recruited and get offers when they don't have film from, this past season right now?
I think that is probably one of the hardest things in the world when you talk about, far as a situation where you talk about getting offers and playing on the next level. There's so many guys, man, that you watch junior. Man, this is. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about this, man. This is absolutely.
It's okay. It's okay.
Another part of coaching. Control what you can control, man.
It's funny. We kind of talked about what happened in DC last week, and then we had that stuff start happening to us. I think they were monitoring in on us and shut us down a little bit. But
I definitely apologize, man. I don't know what's going on with this thing here. I have no clue.
That's okay. So you were talking about, how can kids be seen without?
Yeah. So the benefit in it is a lot of guys right now. If they're getting a lot of offers and things off of their junior tape. So the guys that had immaculate junior years that possibly could have had okay senior years, those guys are benefiting it. But there's a hope factor with that. There are a lot of guys that are, coming in and they're going to say, hey, I'm going to take this guy.
Okay. So we going I think I might know what's going on. So let's do it like this. All right, go ahead, Coach, what you were saying there.
Yeah, just a lot of guys, man, are really gonna be put in a situation, that they get offers off of their junior year. That's gonna be a big thing, and it's a hope factor on college coaches. We're hoping that that junior tape that you put out there, we're hoping that you're gonna transition that senior tape into something really good. And I think for a lot of guys, this spring season is going to be good, but it's going to be after signing day. And I think it can be frustrating for a lot of parents, a lot of guys that had offers and might not have the offers anymore. And what parents and a lot of players have to understand on this end is financial hit. You know, we don't have the scholarship money to just give out as we would, you know, previous years. Of course, with the NCAA waiver, we have seniors that were granted their season back that are still on scholarship. So when you talk about a allotment scholarship money, you know, it matters. So it looks bad on a lot of programs, but I mean, colleges are ran off of funds. And if you don't have the funds to give out, you know, that's kind of where it is. So the pools are going to be real low, but a lot of guys are going to benefit from their junior tape.
So what would you recommend, you know, to the kids that maybe are just kind of left out in the cold? I mean, do they take a year and go JUCO, or what should, you know, kids in that kind of situation do?
I think the biggest thing to do, and what I've encouraged, you know, buddies of mine that's called, you know, that have kids that are doing it, is, you know, especially if they're playing the spring season, don't get caught up in the National Signing Day hype. I think that's going to be the first thing, you know, come February 5th, you know, you cannot get caught up in the I didn't sign national letter of intent on National Signing Day, because there are going to be so many universities, including Virginia State University, that have so much money after signing day once we can kind of figure out what's really going on. And there are some coaches like myself, there are multiple guys that I really would love to play at Virginia State, but I personally want to get eyes on them and see them live in action, you know. So like the state of North Carolina getting the opportunity to play in the spring, our athletic director is going to allow us to go out and check some of them games out. I mean, it's going to be huge. You got to take the season just as it was in the fall, and you cannot get caught up, you know, in that National Signing Day, man. And because I mean, I get it. Every kid wants to do that. It looks good on TV, but you know, these are real, like, unseen times, man. And you gotta step outside the box, and you gotta put faith in the work that you're putting in.
Very good, Coach. That's really, really good advice right there. We got a comment from somebody that you may know, Mr. Jermaine Moss. He said, "Tell my high school teammate Toriano I said, what up?"
How about it? That's our offensive coordinator. Will do.
All right, good deal. All right, so Kenny McClaremont, a guy you may know, has a question for you, and I'm gonna bring him on right now.
Yeah, he had all them studs, man. We couldn't get them.
What's up, brother?
What's going on, Coach?
Man, I'll tell you what, man. Thanks for coming on the show tonight, Coach.
No
You're one
problem.
of my favorite people, man. Even if you wore that ugly color green up the road, but being real with you, man, it's an incredible story. In a short period of time, you went from playing at Memorial Stadium, playing for Coach Massey, to now being an associate head football coach at the Division II level, being the recruiting coordinator. You've coached multiple positions now on offense, man. I think you had a stint even with the Jaguars, if I remember correctly, man.
Yeah, I did.
For young coaches out there, man, what's the secret? What did you do? What can they do for guys who are aspiring to become the next Tremaine Watson?
Man, I'm going to tell you, somebody told me a long time ago, and it didn't hit me until it really hit me. You got to find something that you're good at, and you got to create separation between you and anybody else at the table. It's never about being better than anybody. It's never about trying to take anyone's job. It's just whatever I'm going to do, I'm going to be the best at it. And I'm going to always create separation and say, hey, how can I be better? You know, you got to add value. One thing about value, you know, and I've been on a staff where, you know, we've been let go and lost our jobs. No matter what happens here, you know, I need this guy here. Hey, man, this is amazing here. This is awesome.
Well, I had my mic muted right there, but we got Coach back now, so we'll let him finish that thought.
Yep, sorry about that, man. I really wish I could fix this thing here. I really do. But yeah, just add value to yourself, man, and really be good at what you are, man. One thing I did when I did the deal with the Jacksonville Jaguars, I listened to the offensive coordinator. He told me multiple times. He said, you don't have to be in the NFL to be a pro. No matter what level you on, be a pro at what you're doing, and you can be a professional. So that's something that I kind of carry with me. Be good where your feet are, wherever it is. If you're a little league coach, be the best little league coach in the country.
Coach, one more question since I got you on here, man. Favorite Ron Massey story?
Oh man, favorite Ron Massey story. This has had to be 2004. We are going into the game. We're playing Sun Valley. Sun Valley has, over the couple years they hadn't been that good. This year they were rolling. They were like 6-0. Going into a big game. It was hard for us to change that mindset of, hey, it's Sun Valley, because they just hadn't been, that good over the years. But this year, man, they had a running back, a quarterback. They were really good. So they were like 5-0. We kind of took it for a joke. So we're kind of going to the field. We're practicing, kind of messing around. Coach Massey's at the top of the hill. He blows the whistle and said, everybody inside, go home. We'll try it again tomorrow. I've never been in a practice that we've physically been kicked off of a field and physically canceled practice. I mean, we were lost for words. And he didn't say anything to us. He said, go home. And we got a game in about 2 days. And he just kicked us off the practice field with no words. So, I mean, you talk about somebody that just was kind of really confused. And then, the next day he kind of spoke to us like nothing happened. So he challenged us, and it was an interesting story, but it was, very confusing for a high school student. We were really lost. We were texting each other all night trying to figure out what's going on. But he set the tone. That was a big thing for him, is he set the tone, and, he's not going to allow us to not be successful.
All right, great questions, Kenny. Excellent stuff. Excellent stuff. All right, Coach. My final question to you is about how you guys up at Virginia State, how do you guys handle the pandemic? Because, obviously you didn't have, a season this past year. So
Right.
what did you guys do in the interim, because of that?
Man, you want to talk about something that's wild. We are doing massive Zoom meetings, as every other coach, kind of doing across the country. I think the hardest part, especially for me, because I am a hands-on coach, is not physically being able to touch the guys and know that they're okay. So, everything's a hope and prayer factor that, the hope they're being safe, you hope that they're training, you hope they're doing different things like that. And then when you talk about the mindset of a 17, 18-year-old student athlete, in these times, I could only imagine, they're not able to physically go hang out with their buddies and do different things. So I think I spent a lot of time just bonding and kind of take away football from a little bit. So it's kind of been a blessing and a curse, especially in the offensive line room. We spent a lot of time together, but I physically had a chance to get to know my guys and really the things that trigger them and really how they feel about life. So it's been good. So, I believe that when you build a relationship with your guys and you ask them to do things, they'll knock a wall down for you.
Yeah, most definitely. I was on the offensive line, most of my coaching career in high school, and I love it. I love it. It's a different thing, man. It's like a brotherhood, because it's total teamwork with whatever you do. Because you can be the greatest offensive lineman, but if that man beside you ain't doing his job, it's gonna make you look terrible. So,
no doubt.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a passion thing, and your point about not being able to touch them and make sure they're okay. I can feel that. Out of any other position on the field, that one, definitely the most.
No doubt.
For sure. Coach, it was awesome, man.
Man, I appreciate you guys, man. This is awesome, man. It's always good. I'll be, continue to watch, from out the weeks on out. I love to kind of check on the talent and see what's going on, and it's always good to see the things that are going on, back home. I tell everybody, especially up here in Virginia, nothing like North Carolina football, and I mess with them, so they think that's where I want to go.
Did we lose them? We're gonna give it a second. We'll see if we get him back. Okay. Oh, there we are. We got you. Okay.
Man, Comcast owe me some money for this one now.
We got a Virginia State alumnus right there, EJ Nicholson.
How about it, Hail State, man?
There it is. Coach, one last thing I want to share with you is if you guys are looking for some players, we try to specialize in highlighting different players. You need certain positions or whatever, just reach out to us. We'll be glad to help you guys out a little bit, man.
Oh man, we'll do. And for anybody that's watching, once again, I'm an open book, man. That's something I'm trying to be the best recruiter in the world. twatson@vsu.edu is my email. Guys, definitely feel free to reach out to me. My Twitter is coach_Watson72. We always looking for ballers, man. That's a big thing for us in the great state of Virginia. We always looking to get better.
All right, I'm gonna throw that up on the screen here real quick, Coach.
I appreciate it.
There we go. So there's the email, and there's the Twitter handle. Make sure you reach out to Coach if you want to follow him and keep up with everything that's going on at Virginia State. Those are the methods, the best ways to reach him. Once again, Coach, thank you for coming on, man.
And I appreciate you guys, man. I really do. I appreciate you guys and wish you well. Stay safe.
You too, Coach. Absolutely, man. Thank you so much.
All right, take care.
All right, you too, Coach. All right. So that was Trumaine Watson, associate head coach, recruiting coordinator, and offensive line coach at Virginia State. Really, really good guy. Shared some great information about how to be seen with this crazy situation we've got going on in North Carolina without, the film, as we were talking about earlier, with no football this fall. All right. We are at the point in the show where we, as a group, have our time to get some stuff off of our chest. If this is the first time you have watched this, you are in for a treat because this is now our time to sound off. All right. So when we sound off, this is a time where I don't know what's going to be said. We have had some beautiful sound off, and you saw the season 2 intro. A lot of that stuff came from the sound off segment. And to lead off sound off tonight, I'm going to go to the man that I ain't heard from all night that's been sitting backstage, and that's my producer, Brandon Black, my former Harding Ram teammate, where we went 1-10 for several years together. And we're going to sound off with him right now. Here we go. Unmute yourself. Fumble on the play.
Nah, well, it's only the first game of the season, man. So I gotta work out some kinks, but certain things is okay to delete from the record book, man. Like certain seasons. So if you want to just tear out a page, you can, man. I'm just glad my contract got renewed for season 2, though. But sound off, kind of a joint dual sound off. First thing I want to say, shout out to the Cleveland Browns. I've gave them props on the show a couple of times over season, having one of their best seasons in recent memory. Shout out to them for winning their first playoff game since I was about 11 years old. Their last playoff win, I believe, was in 94. So, got some good things going. There's a lot to be, no matter how things end, there's a lot to be excited about for the future there. A lot of bright spots. Similar situation, I'm going to give a shout out to the Charlotte Hornets. I know it's very early, only about 11 games in, but they're coming off having a bit of a rough night tonight, last time I checked in, but coming off a 4-game win streak. So LaMelo looks to be, getting some excitement going. Looks like a decent pick so far. I know it's really early, but they're showing, a lot of promise that they haven't shown in quite some time. So, we'll see how things go, but it looks like, there's the trajectory looks to be in the right direction for the Hornets. So we'll see how it's going, but, shout out to underdog teams in 2 sports. We'll see how it goes from here.
Yeah, just looking at the Hornets score, man, 92-78, 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Looks like they may be trying to make a little bit of a run here, but 4-game winning streak is in jeopardy. And that's probably one of the best Hornet streaks in recent history. So,
if I'm not mistaken, it was their first 4-game win streak since April of 2019. So, yeah, that's something to be excited about, though. But they need some more pieces, but there's some things to be excited about so far. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, they got Dallas a couple weeks ago, so now Dallas is trying to get a little get back. So that's understandable.
Yeah,
that's okay. All right, thank you, sir. All right, let's go to the illustrious Coach Billups and get his sound off for this week.
I saw what you said, Moss. They still terrible, but my sound off is it's 2 parts. Hey, I love ball, man. They better play my boy LaMelo, man. I got my triple B shoes back there upstairs. My first part of my sound off is to EA Sports. Hey, man, this next gen Madden, y'all made it a little too good because these quarterbacks terrible. Me and Kirk Cousins are gonna fight in the streets of Minnesota. Matter of fact, we might fight in the Lake Minnetonka. I am tired. I'm in franchise mode and Madden on my PS5. My PS4 league, I'm kicking butt, but we only won 3 games. And I got Dalvin Cook. And I don't like anybody from hold on. I love Jalen Ramsey, but Dalvin Cook is slowly becoming my whole offense. I got the Adrian James mindset now. We just don't run it. We just don't run the ball. My second part of my sound off is proud dad moment. This is why I left the show for a little bit. I had to call my ex-wife, have a conversation about my 2-year-old, soon to be 3-year-old. Shout out to Miss Emery Claire Billups. I'm proud of you, honey. I heard about you in swim class today. You conquering the field. You getting your face in that water. You always make me so proud that I'm glad that you're conquering your field. I told you, just stick your head in the water and just have fun, Chad. You even took your swim cap on. So it was beautiful to see the joy in your heart, man. And like I tell everybody, it's nothing like joy from your own kids that make you happy. And that's why, that's the only thing that matters to me most. I heard Miss Emery Claire, my other baby Adore, laughing at her yesterday. Sometimes you need to take yourself out of the spectrum and just do things that you really care about and love. All I do now is read, drink my water, protect my hair, my soul glow, and play PlayStation. Boring and burn some sage every now and then. I like that. Put my shea butter on. But just find some happiness. Like my work weeks, I've been working around the clock for like 2 months now. That's why I've been in practice. I haven't been doing nothing. It's been getting killed, but I'm blessed to have a job. I'm blessed for a lot of things in my life. But y'all, man, don't be James Harden. Be LeBron.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about that in a second. But to echo your comments on EA Sports, I got so pissed off about this trash game that I quit my Madden 21 league that I ran.
That's why Kyle hit you up. I understand everything now. Pat, you want to know something? I could tell you now. I could be honest with you guys from CFI. So everybody know I'm becoming a content creator on my PlayStation 5 and my Madden. I got Twitch every day. Big Boom NC. Follow me on Twitch. Big Boom NC. So I was in a live stream, and I knew I had kids watching me. And I was playing one of the greatest receivers ever to play at West Shaw, Mr. Antoine Strong. That's my guy. I love Antoine.
Oh, yeah, I coach with him.
Yeah, that's one of my best friends in the whole world. But I dislike playing him in Madden. I'm in one of there's a lot of Charlotte elites in this Madden league. We got Jarvis Hill, Randall Ingram, Radon Ingram. We got not Brandon Bills. I was just a peon. I was a scrub. But we were playing, and I was live streaming, got my camera, and I threw my 3rd interception in the first quarter with Kyler Murray. I about start saying the F word. I unplugged my mic, threw my mic, and I said, I'm turning it. I forgot that my PlayStation 5 have a mic. And I said, I'm cutting this effing broadcast now. And one of my former players said, Coach, I never seen that mad before. I said, well, I was hot. So I had to go to my pray. I had to go bring my crystals out, and I had to pray and tell I said I can never let this game do this to me. So guys, I'll be yelling at my daughter. Y'all hear me tell you a story about my daughter and her Paw Patrols. I understand why she's mad when she can't find him, because I was extremely upset. So put it in perspective.
That's why I quit the league, man. I got to screaming, and I was scaring everybody in this house, and I said, I got to stop.
No, I don't scream. I'll yell. I was like, like my daughter like to say, she hear me go, oh Lord, and then my 2-year, oh Lord, I'm like, look, I gotta watch what I say because.
Oh, good stuff, man. Good stuff. Appreciate it. All right, let's go to the queen of CFI, Shereen Glenn, and see what's on her mind as she sounds off.
First of all, shout out to Radon Ingram. That's my boy from middle school. We go way back, so I just want to give him a shout out. So Brandon actually took my sound off. I was going to sound off to the Hornets again on their 4-game win streak that apparently is in jeopardy right now. But good things I'm seeing from LaMelo Ball, so I'm happy for that. Also, I do want to give a shout out to the runner-up of the BCS National Championship. I know that Ohio State, you guys lost, and, you know, it was I guess, sort of just crappy second half for y'all. But just shout out to making it there. I know Jeff Fields has been through a lot this year. A lot of people counted them out, you know, because they only played, I think it was like 6 or 7 games this season. So just shout out to y'all for making it that far. Alabama is always a tough team to beat. And, you know, kudos to Nick Saban for winning another championship for that team. But just, you know, great job to Ohio State this year. Good job for y'all making it through, you know, going through the pandemic and, you know, having y'all scares and, you know, just dealing with that whole thing. It's been a lot trying to deal with all that this year. So I give y'all a lot of props today.
You know, that beatdown couldn't happen to a better school. Anything from Ohio is terrible. It is horrible. And yeah, your words might have, you know, my words last week might have motivated the Cleveland Browns to pull a great upset. But, you know, it wasn't enough for Ohio State to pull off an even bigger upset. So congratulations to the Alabama Crimson Tide, and thank you for making the state of Ohio subservient once again. Sheree, that was a really, really nice tribute. Thank you for that. All right. We are going to go now to the engine of CFI, Kenny McClamrock, who's had a lot of time off, who I know is going to bring the juice and the fuel for the engine of CFI. The Hemi V8, as Brandon has said in our private chat. Here we go.
Yeah, that's the problem, Pep. I've had so much time to think about it. I've literally changed like 4 directions that I could have headed in the last 10 minutes. I was going to talk about people who annoy me. And then I was going to talk about what's going on in the political nation of the world. And then I was like, no, you know what? We're going to stick to football tonight. And this is what I'm going to say. For all you knuckleheads out there who think that the college football playoffs should be expanded to 8 teams or 16 teams or 32 teams or 64 teams, let's just put something to bed. There's exactly 2 to 3 teams who have an actual shot at winning the national championship every single year. And let me tell you who it's not. It's not the University of Georgia. It's not Cincinnati. It's not the University of Florida. It's not Texas A&M. It's not Oklahoma. It definitely is not Notre Dame. If you don't start with a Clemson or an Alabama and maybe an Ohio State, you don't have a shot at winning it. Why in the world would we want to expand to 8 teams or 16 teams when we're just delaying the inevitable? We know who's going to win. We know who's going to end up at the very end. And it's because of recruiting. It's because of coaching. It's because of the value that they place on the sport in their school and in their state. To the 4th team every single year, welcome in, congratulations. But in the end, we all know who's going to win. And there are 3 teams, really 2 teams that have a shot. And that's all I've got for tonight, Pat.
Oh, all right. Well, I'll say this, man. They said the ratings for the championship game were down, and they were some of the lowest they've had in a while. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't watch much of it because I already knew what was going to happen. You know,
this is what I do wish would happen. And it was great for a couple of years, and they kind of backed up last year, then they backed up even more this year, is we want to see the coach's film room. I love listening to Coach Clawson from Wake Forest. To me, he is one of the great college football minds. He has incredible insight. Watching Gene Chizik, how awesome was it to see Coach Washington from A&T right up the road tune in, man? They're one of the top programs in the nation. Give that man the respect that he's due. I love the coaches room. I wish that we did that with all major games. I wish we did that with the NFL. How exciting would it be to have a coaches room, even if it's retired coaches, even if it's fired coaches, talking about the Super Bowl, talking about this week's playoff games, talking about what they're seeing Miss Mahomes, what he's doing to change the NFL right now. Everyone knows what the results are going to be, man. Everyone wants to see, whether they want to admit it or not, they want to see Clemson and Alabama every single year. Any other matchup is a letdown.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. And I don't know what else to say to that. I agree. I agree. Good stuff, Kenny. Good stuff, man. All right. So for my sound off tonight, I got to talk about this trade. Brandon, texted me about this dang on trade that happened today with James Harden and the Houston Rockets, between them and the Brooklyn Nets. Man, I'm gonna tell y'all something. I have never liked James Harden. I hate his game. He does that ugly, dribble, ISO crap. They flop and get to the free throw line 87 times a game. I think it's horrible. There's no ball movement. It's a bunch of step back threes and all that stuff. I just have never liked his game. And now the fact that he comes out here, cries, doesn't come to training camp on time, way out of shape, and then he ends up getting what he wants. Going to Brooklyn with Durant and Kyrie. Now, granted, Houston got a whole bunch of stuff in return, but it just irks me, to no end that, these professional athletes getting paid millions of dollars, to play a game, don't, in this case, you don't try to make the team better. You just cry your way out of a situation and get exactly what you want for not being a team player. And that just bothers me to no end, to be honest with you. So, yeah, that's my sound off for this week. Just very disappointed, with that in general. We got a few more comments that have come in. Let's see. Justin Adams, our player analyst, says athletes continue to market yourselves. Yeah, you got to, man. You got to. That's the only way that you're going to be seen without, the great film, that you need, from your senior year, especially you 2021 kids. Benny Blanco asking, who is the North Carolina high school player to watch? Benny, I don't know if we got enough time. There's so much talent. Just in the 704, a lot of those guys have opted out and moved on to play college ball. So you're going to have an opportunity to see some guys step up into some different roles because a lot of this talent is moving on to play at the college level and not playing their senior year. But we've got, a few guys, I think in the area that are very talented. Cameron Smith, the running back at Olympic, I think is a really talented kid. He's already committed, but he's going to play his senior year at Olympic. And there's several others that are, really good players, that names that you may not know right now. But as we get into the next few weeks of shows, we're going to be featuring conferences like we did back in the fall when we thought we might play football. So we're going to rehash our featured conference shows coming up in the next few weeks, leading up to the projected start of the season on February 26th. So we'll reveal, the conference order for those shows here in the next few days. So you're going to hear a lot of different names, a lot of different players, and a lot of talent. So stay tuned. That's a great question, Benny. I'm glad you posted that. Panos, we talked about him earlier because, his mother is a very dedicated watcher of the show. What's up, Panos? I hope you're doing well. I hope you guys over at South Mech are, working out as much as possible with the pandemic. I think you guys are, set up to have a very good season. I think a lot of teams or, pundits, we'll call them, may not know the talent and how hard you guys have worked. So I appreciate you watching tonight, Panos. Very, very good player, over at South Mech High School. Coach Lash from earlier, CMS is being very diligent with figuring out how to make the basketball season happen. As long as they're doing that, we're okay for the season. Stay safe, keep your kids safe, and we will figure it out. I fully believe we will play. I certainly hope so, Coach. I certainly hope so. And I'm going to get you on here with us here real soon because I want to get your perspective, on a couple of things such as that you mentioned right there. There's some other things I want to touch on here, going back to some comments earlier. Coach Grice at Hopewell, a lot of our teams in our conference have been lifting weights for a while. We are allowed to lift outside and have been doing so since November. And I know we are not alone at all in that. Shout out to the creative strength and conditioning coaches in the city. And yeah, I definitely, want to shout those guys out because they're doing a heck of a job in a really, really tough situation. You have to change how you work out, how you lift, how you condition because of all of the different, things that you have to, address, to work out safely, excuse me, with the pandemic rules that are in place. So that's a great shout out right there. All right. So for the first time in Football Focus Weekly history, we are ahead of schedule. So what we're going to do now is we are going to go to Kenny McClamrock, who has a special new segment for us. But before we go to that segment, I'm going to preface it with a little bit of, background, is the best way to put it. I'm going to get it up here on the screen and show you what we're going to do here. So give me 1 second. All right, here we go. And we're going to make that full screen and we're going to play this. All right, so we're going to stop that right there. And I'm going to bring Kenny in because this segment is called The Slime with Kenny McClamrock. And he's going to explain exactly what's going on here. So, Kenny, take it away, sir.
So I think that most people around the game of football know that the game of football is really struggling right now. We're struggling not because of the pandemic, but we're struggling because of fears that have been brought on, some of them legit, some of them not so legit, fears of concussions. We've seen a decrease in participation in football nationwide now for several years. We've seen JV programs be cut because they didn't have enough players. We've seen varsity teams here, even in North Carolina, have to forfeit their season because they didn't have participation. So I loved when I heard that the NFL had a game on Nickelodeon. Now, I looked and looked and looked. Apparently, Hulu Live, even though Google says it has Nickelodeon, Hulu Live does not have Nickelodeon. But I was able to catch some recaps of it, and these are some awesome things that I saw. I saw slime cannons in the end zone. When a player scored, these overlays of slime cannons went off. And if you were, I'm sure all of us watched Nickelodeon growing up and saw the slime buckets. I saw goofy costumes and bug eyes and costume overlays over top of the NFL players. I saw SpongeBob, who my kids are all about, in between the goalposts. And I saw creative pop-ups where a little kid comes up and he would describe what a penalty is. In fact, very recently, my twin boys are 7. They've started to ask me about football penalties and what it means, and they're trying to memorize the different motions that represent the different penalties. But one thing that I loved, and it got me thinking about the show, was that video that Pep just played where he showed where they showed Peyton, Sean Payton, of course, the head coach of the Saints, being slimed after the game was over. And it got me thinking, who would you like to see slimed? What professional athlete, what professional coach, what college player? We're not talking about politicians here. We're going to stick with sports because we're a sports show. But what player or coach would you like to see slimed? And Pep, if you'll just go down the line, I'll start off just kind of. I would love to see Baker Mayfield slimed. I think that Baker Mayfield is as good of a quarterback as he was the other day, and the turnaround that he has. I think that Baker Mayfield is the biggest thug in all of the NFL, and I would love to see him get slimed and maybe karate chopped in the throat by Cobra Kai. But that's who I got.
Not Cobra Kai, Coach.
Strike first, strike hard, baby. No mercy.
Good Lord. All right. Well, here we go. Brandon, who do you want to see slide? Up.
I'm going to go
How long should we let him talk? Hey, there we go.
I'm going to go with anybody within the Dallas Cowboys organization. The dude that takes the parking money, the hot dog man, Jerry Jones, Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott, anyone. If Dallas Cowboys signs their check, they're eligible for sliming, and that's all I got.
Cowboy Joe too?
Yeah, him too. He can stand right beside Jerry Jones and get slimed. We're right there with him. Exactly.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right. Let's see who the Queen wants to get slimed. This ought to be interesting. Here we go.
So I'm gonna go with Kyrie Irving. And the reason I say this about him is, for one, he just always signifies a guy that, he gets into more trouble than I think he needs to, first of all. Second of all, he thinks the earth is flat. And to me, that in and of itself I think deserves a sliming. And then when you have a problem with LeBron James, you have a problem with me. So Kyrie Irving.
I'll reserve my comments because I can't say anything else about anything bad from Cleveland or Ohio and in general. All right. But there we go. All right. Thank you, Queen. Appreciate that. The illustrious Coach Billups. Who you want to see slimed?
I want to see this person I'm about to mention because personally, what they have done to me, especially on Sunday, what they did to somebody I really cherish and care about. Jamal Adams, you ruffian, I want you to get slimed because you were wrong for what you did to Wolf. The great Wolf of LA did not deserve to get hit in the head like that, because you better turn up on it, but don't worry about it. You got yours. Congratulations on your little NFC West Conference champion. But we'll see you at the Super Bowl.
When you call somebody a ruffian, you know it's serious.
Oh, that old Bucko better watch out, because boy, he got one coming to him. Him and them broke ribs. He think his ribs broke now, his finger broke, boy. He had me hot. I wish y'all should have heard me. I had to woosah because I had a 2-year-old, and she was like, "Oh Lord," we was a little upset. We had Ram stuff on. We was upset. We got composed back. We were ready to fly to Seattle.
That's good. That's good. Excellent contribution. Thank you very much, sir. Kenny, I'm just going to tell you, I appreciate you coming up with this idea. Right now in my mind, I got 47 people that I want to have slimed, because I just have so many people that throughout the course of a day, a week, a month, just do asinine things that just drive me up a wall. For the interest of me being public and being known through this media, that's connected to my Facebook and Twitter. I will not mention any of my ex's names that I would like to see slime, but just know that they were options for this. Anyway. For years, I have wanted to slime the person who decided to get rid of hot and spicy chicken at KFC. Now, let me give you a... Y'all gonna quit laughing at me about this stuff. This is serious, okay? So for years, I'm gonna preface this with a little bit of a background. You used to be able to go to the KFC on Beatties Ford Road or on West Boulevard to get hot and spicy chicken. They only sold it on the west side in the ghetto. But it was so good. One of my best memories from when I was young was when I was 13 years old. My mother bought me my own bucket of chicken for my birthday. And she kept it warm in the oven, and it was hot and spicy chicken from KFC. The formula was awesome. It was delicious. I wish I could go and find the old Magic Johnson KFC commercial where he bit into that chicken and fire shot out of his mouth. That made me want it. It was so good. But then all of a sudden, it started going away. They took it away from the one on West Boulevard. Okay, I get that. You make changes. But it was still there on Beatties Ford. But the problem was the Beatties Ford KFC just went away one day. And then you couldn't get it anymore. And I was a sad teenager because they took away one of the favorite things in my life. So president of KFC back in the 90s, whoever you are, it might have been Colonel Sanders. He might have still been alive back then. I want you to get slimed for taking away one of the best memories of my childhood. Sir, thank you so much. And Kenny, thank you for the opportunity for me to get that off my chest, because for 20 years, I have desired so badly to have that great taste in my mouth, and I can't have it. It's so depressing. Oh, we have the commercial. Okay. let's see the commercial that I just referenced right there, because we have time. And I feel very passionate about this. Give me 1 second. We're going to pull this up. All right, hold on. We're going to share this because this is very important to me. And y'all need to see this because this is what got Pep Man going in his love for chicken and everything that I talk about on this show. All right, here we go. Give me 1 second to get this up. Okay, do we have it? Okay, let's maximize this thing. All right, here we go. Pieces of chicken for $4.99? Are you serious? What in the world? I forgot that part of it. My goodness. So yeah, no wonder I got hooked on it. It was $4.99. My gosh. Okay. All right. Now I see multiple comments. Obviously, I'm going to have to address this. Let me bring everybody back because they're just crying tears in the background. But you guys don't understand. You don't understand, man.
Hey, man. It was so many impossible moments that you said. I was like, Pep, stop. I can't wait to have that delicious taste. I was like, whoa. And then I watched the commercial before I sent it to you. I said, this man he enjoyed watching another man buy a piece of chicken and shoot out fire like a flamethrower. I said, what is wrong with Matt? Hot mouth magic. Hot mouth magic. That's how he got. Hey, that's how he got the little condition he had with eating that hot and spicy chicken.
Stop that!
Shan, you don't, boys and girls. This is public service now. Do not share your hot and spicy chicken with multiple people because you will get the condition that Magic Johnson got, and that is no good.
No.
There you go.
All right. Justin, Petman, the chicken connoisseur. I mean, hey, I'm a fat man. I like my chicken, okay?
You know, churches had $5 chicken first, right?
That is true.
I'm just letting you know.
Churches is like Little Caesars, though.
No. No, it's not. KFC is like Little Caesars.
Ooh, you hurt Cherie's feelings on that one.
I'm just saying, I'll eat it. I'll eat it if it comes down to it. You know, if I only got $3.11 in my pocket.
That's how I feel about KFC. I eat it if it comes down to it, but I'm not eating it by choice. I eat it by choice. I'm not eating KFC by choice. Anyway.
My good friend Nikisha tells me to let it go. And then she also says 10 pieces for $4.99 can't be trusted.
Whatever.
You can say that now for churches. You're blaspheming churches, and I know Cherie does not appreciate that because they actually do have a 10-piece special for just about $4.99.
2021.
So
$5.
yeah,
10 pieces of chicken.
That's 30 years later.
Pride. Exactly. It's how can it still be the same price? Does churches not know what inflation is? I mean, that's a very good question, I think.
30 years later.
Matt is the Bubba Gump of chicken. Well, Thank you, Tim. I appreciate those words there, sir. That is much appreciated. All right, so we can now take Coach Billups out of timeout for that.
Hey, just a quick saying. $5 chicken. That's the bathroom special at Church of Chicken. That's what they call it, the bathroom special. Because right when you bite in that grease bucket, you sprint into the bathroom. The only thing good at church is them darn biscuits. Woo! Them biscuits good now.
I need the biscuits. Those biscuits are on point.
Good now. But that grease,
yes.
You don't take out like Usain Bolt. If you want if you want to have a fast 40, eat a bite out of Church of Chicken. Tell them you want the chicken at the bottom because they use the same grease. That's the secret. That's the secret formula. It's I have to agree. It is the Little Caesar of chicken. Yes, it is. It is the bottom of the totem pole. $5 chicken, 10 pieces of chicken for $5. I'm not eating that. You know what my daughter would say? Emery would look at me and be like, no, daddy. She would spit it on the floor. I was like, yeah, I don't blame you.
My kids won't. I'll tell you that much. That's the first piece of chicken.
I hope you like to change diapers. I've done it
all my life.
Because you know that song Alicia Keys sings, "This Girl's on Fire." This cola's gonna be on fire. It's gonna be on fire.
Oh,
and you better invest in whites.
All right. Okay, so now before we do our NFL picks, I will share that there was no loser of the week.
What?
Okay, but we do have a winner of the week because one person stood out above everyone else. And I'm going to change this week because this is now going to be a time for the winner to gloat and make all of us feel insignificant. So, with that being said, here we go.
What?
For the first time in history of Football Focus Week,
I want to recount.
Yes.
The Queen was the winner of the week. Somehow, at 4-2, she was the.
I want to recount.
Ain't no somehow. No somehow. I get it right sometimes.
No, you didn't.
Apparently, I did this week, sir.
Matt felt bad. He crossed out. He was eating some churchy chicken.
I picked Cleveland. Okay, so
I picked Cleveland.
Okay, well, I'm sorry that your pick on Cleveland didn't do nothing. So apparently, you got something else wrong somewhere. I can't help you with that.
You know what? I don't care. Y'all can have this because my team's still playing unlike that regular jersey you got on.
Hey, man, that's fine.
All right, so, Cherie, you have 30 seconds to gloat, so go right ahead.
I would just like to take this time to thank the Academy.
Oh, my God.
I knew that eventually my picks were going to get me a win. And I'm just glad it came at a crucial moment in time. So to all of you guys on this panel, you can all take your loss like men and let me have this 1 week where I was on top. Okay, just let me have this. Let me have it.
I thought I was gonna have to pull the mute button right there.
I thought better of myself.
All right, so to end the show, divisional round picks coming down the line. Kenny, what you got?
I don't think any surprises this week. Rams at the Packers. Sorry, Coach Billups, but your boys' season's over with. I've got Packers. Browns at the Chiefs. Man, the Browns have shown they can play without wide receivers. They can play without their head coach. They can play without any offensive line coach. But all that comes to an end as well this week because the Chiefs are going to whoop up on them. Ravens at the Bills. Congratulations to Lamar Jackson for getting that monkey off his back. Monkey off his back? Elephant? Whatever. However that saying is, I've got the Bills over the Ravens and then Bucks versus the Saints. Tampa Bay, you guys spent all this money to bring in all these guys who are as old as I am and older, and that comes to an end this week as well. I've got the Saints over the Bucks in the granddaddy match.
All right, good deal. Producer Brandon, what you got?
All right, I'm gonna go with Saints over the Bucks. I know since they're well rested, I gave Browns the props, but sometimes I got to be realistic. Coming off a week of rest, I got to go Chiefs. Bills are playing really inspired right now. They're motivated, so I'm gonna go Bills, and then I'm gonna go with Rodgers and the Packers.
All right, very good. Winner of the week, the Queen. You gonna repeat?
I'm going 4-0 this week. No, but I'm gonna go Green Bay. I'm gonna go Buffalo. I'm gonna go Kansas City, and then I'm gonna go Tampa Bay.
All right, bucking the trend. I hear you. The illustrious. All right, we'll come back to you. You're taking too long. All right. So I'm going to take the Packers over the Rams. I'm actually going to take the Ravens over the Bills. I'm going to take the Chiefs over the Browns. And with you, Sheree, I am going to take the Bucks over the Saints because the Saints have a way of choking every year somewhere in the playoffs. And I don't think Tom Brady's going to let it in New Orleans. Yeah, all right, we'll see if the illustrious is ready now.
The disrespect. Before I get to the game of the year, I'm gonna go down the line. Cam Jordan messed up for the Saints, so the Bucks are gonna win. He should not call. You don't call it the GOAT. Don't call the GOAT out. As much as I want to pick the Browns over the Chiefs, I'm not stupid, so I'm going Chiefs. I'm going with the Bills because I think the Ravens run out, and since everybody is dismantling my team because they think we don't have the chance to beat the Packers, I am going with the Rams because we had the best corner versus the best receiver, and we had the best D-line, the best defense in the NFL. And last time they played the second best defense, they lost in overtime to the Colts. And I don't think A-Rod going to beat us. And this is for Coach Fowler because he was talking all this junk that Jair Alexander is better than Jalen Ramsey. We're about to see Rams by 2.
All right, there it is. I want to thank everyone tonight.
Make that face. We're gonna win.
Sure, you are.
Shut up. Y'all not gonna win. Y'all not gonna win.
I want to thank everyone tonight.
I want my respect.
I want to thank everyone for being part of the show.
How's that?
A lot of good discussion tonight. Thanks for everyone that watching. Thank you for everyone that commented. This was definitely one of the most watched shows we've had live in a long time. So I appreciate everyone taking some time out of their busy schedules to check us out every Wednesday night, 7:30. will be here. I'm hearing rumors that the second draft of the realignment will come out tomorrow from the NCHSAA. So next week we'll talk about that for sure. We'll see where we are with the CMS board meeting being held tomorrow. We'll talk about the ramifications of that. Hopefully by this time next week we still have high school sports, but we don't know. But on behalf of the Queen, the producer, the engine, and the illustrious Coach Billups, this is the Pet Man, Matt Morrow, signing off. Thank everybody for watching tonight. We do got one more comment. Oh, that's just somebody laughing at us. All right, so we'll see y'all next week. Have a good week, guys. Thanks for watching.